Shalom folks, Mikhail's here, and welcome to the show where we're gonna talk about music and beyond. And before we proceed and start talking about our main subject, let me take you back in the 70s. In the beginning of 70s, rock and roll started becoming extremely popular and commercially aimed. It was all about long solos and theatrical performance, so some folks decided to get separated from this trend and from mainstream in general. Their goal was to stay out of reach of big musical corporations and make their music without the idea of gaining profit. And through their music express their feelings about actual problems that they were dealing with on a daily basis, like any economical and political bullshit. But this whole scene didn't just stop on music, it evolved and it led to creation of whole new unique philosophy. A philosophy that would encourage any form of non-conformity and self-expression, and also that would despise any known form of consumer and commercial culture. And the biggest thing was DIY ethics, or in simple words, do-it-yourself. Sort of belief in self-reliance and independence. In simple words, if your car is broken, you don't go to some random mechanic and pay money to fix it. No matter what, you will fix it yourself. And same for punk rock music. Even these days, there is a lot of punk rock bands that stay in underground, and they simply don't rely on some big labels to advertise and promote their music, they're doing it on their own. Of course, through the history, there was a lot of punk rock bands that were pretty popular, but that was inevitable, and even these days, their music is still quite enjoyable. But at the end of the 20s, popularization of punk started getting really ridiculous. Big labels and musical corporations probably figured out that by reshaping punk and giving it to the most beneficial audience, which is the kids, would bring them even more money than ever. What could be possibly better than a combination of popularity of typical boy band and the rebellion nature of punk? And here we go. Money Machine started moving its grinding gears and producing all these bands with enormous speed and calling them a pop punk. Of course, everybody heard of My Chemical Romance, Sum 41, Blink-182 and others. But let's talk about one band in particular, Green Day. Why Green Day? Well, because it's not just one of the most commercially successful pop-punk bands, but because it's a good example of how one band can go from an underground to mainstream. The band was formed in 1986 and originally they were calling themselves Sweet Children. Back then they were playing in a small DIY clubs in California until in 1988 they got picked up by a small label called Lookout Records. In 1989 they recorded their first extant plate called 100 Hours. In the next few years they traveled to Europe and released another 2 full albums. Not the best start for a small DIY band, right? But during 1994 everything changed. Reprise Records saw a big opportunity by bringing Green Day on board and redesigning them for their needs. And we are talking about huge label with the connections and that already belongs to Warner Brothers network. Of course Green Day couldn't resist and sign a contract. After that moment, countless numbers of awards, public recognition and commercial success started following them everywhere. Their first album, recorded with Reprise Records, Dookie, won Grammy Award for a Best Alternative Album and also reached diamond status. By now they sold over 20 million copies of this album worldwide, and all it took was to make it pop-oriented for a bigger crowd that have no idea what the punk is. Of course, album isn't that horrible and still remotely reminds of punk rock, but you need to realize that this album reached all these heights not just on the behalf of hard work and effort of band members, but because we are also talking about large network where one phone call can put one of their tracks in the top charts of any radio. After commercial success of Dookie, they still tried to experiment and add something new to their music. Insomniac was a little darker, Nimrod was a little cheesier, but in the world of pop music, under supervision of countless managers and marketeers, there is not much freedom for self-expression. In 1999, during an interview for magazine Spin, Armstrong even admitted that he actually had no intention to be a part of this. He said, "I couldn't go back to the punk scene, whether we were the biggest success in the world or the biggest failure. The only thing I could do was to get on my bike and go forward." After several tries to distinguish themselves from the other pop, they most likely accepted the reality. And today's reality for Green Day even worse.
Границы ключ переломлен пополам, а наш батюшка Ленин совсем усоп. Он расположился на плесени, на липовый мед.
Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for?
Not a big deal, there is plenty of rip-offs in the music these days. But cringy shit like this leaves me truly devastated.
1 minute left. 1 minute fucking left. You're gonna give me fucking 1 minute? Look at that fucking sign right there. 1 minute. Let me fucking tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've been around since fucking 1980 fucking 8. And you're gonna give me 1 fucking minute? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
This is all for me. Me. I'm so fucking important. I'm so fucking important, right? Fuck you.
What the fuck? I'm not fucking Justin Bieber, you motherfuckers!
Dude, you're not a part of a punk scene anymore, and butthurting on another pop musician to make all these 12-year-old kids to piss in their pants from you being badass is a fucked up thing to do. In the conclusion, I don't think that Green Day is a bad band, and each audience deserves music close to them, even if it's pop music that only sounds like a punk. I just don't think that the whole situation is fair to real punk. And probably next generation will think that punk is all about cute boys playing their little hippie songs about love and flowers. And there is no such thing as a pop punk. You see, most of the real punk rock bands self-produce their recordings, so usually they have that raw and polished sound. Punk rock that has been polished and refined in expensive recording studio under the supervision of dozens sound designers wouldn't be called a punk rock. Not even pop punk, it would be called a fucking pop with the guitars. And I don't blame Green Day for signing contract with a big label, cause I would do the same on their place as well. All I can blame is Reprise Records. Fuck you, Reprise Records, for disgracing punk and corrupting another band with your filthy money. That's it for today. If you like this stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. Mikhail is signing out, and I'll see you soon.